I don't know. They just, you wake up, the water be off in this building. They don't give you no warning or nothing. My tank's got like a double flush, like a two flush. What's that? Shit is crazy, bro. Some pipes probably done busted somewhere because the shit probably froze. It's wintertime. You don't never know when the storm gonna come. You know we in Ohio and Cleveland. You should have the heat on in all the apartments. Even the vacants. You gotta have the heat on in the vacants so pipes don't freeze. Now if we wake up in the water off, pipes done probably froze somewhere and busted. Topic of discussion in today's live is yes men. Yes men will destroy the whole program from by not being honest, even if you get mad at them. If you tell them what you feel, what you feel about the situation from an honest, strategic standpoint. And I say that because I say that to say this. At this point, um, you know, I, it's no secret that I said that President Trump was going to win the election and be reelected to reelected to the White House and become president again. And I really, I felt that being a businessman, an entrepreneur from a wealthy family with generational wealth, but also with title and with pedigree, that if you know that to become president of the United States, you have to be in the lineage of a certain bloodline. And yeah, these bloodlines it's really family. If you really just don't know, it's like Rome for real. It's like a big, it's like relatives and cousins, and I don't even understand how you supposed to marry within your bloodline legally to keep your blood and the blood of your people like pure. And you also keep the loyalty because it's family. It's not no outside. It's family. It's intermarriage through family, through clans. In the Quran, in the Bible. So check this out. The Israelites traced their lineage through the mother. In America, Native Americans trace their lineage through the mother. So not marrying your cousins and your relatives is only through the mother's line. Meaning, for example, this. When you traced your lineage through the mother, that means that you don't marry with inside your same clan. But so you're not marrying in your mother's bloodline though if your uncle has a child by a woman outside of the bloodline and you married your uncle's daughter, you marrying a woman that's born from a female bloodline outside of your female bloodline. You don't make no retarded kids or none of that. And you know what I'm saying? That's all I talk about. You marry inside, you make retarded kids when you marry and mate with your cousins. Children being disabled and different disabilities come from eating different foods and different chemicals introduced into the air and all of these products that have been created because of things that happen. And You know, just like all these children being born with ADHD is because they mamas and they daddies doing all different type of fucking drugs. The fuck you mean the child? You fuck the child's development up in the womb, popping pills, ecstasy, Molly, smoking weed ass cigarettes too. The worst. Cigarettes, drugs, dope. Talk about all these kids and putting everything on everybody, but people taking care of their health. And so in the Quran, if you believe in the Quran and if you're a Muslim, it's permissible to marry your cousins that come from the bloodline of a different female, meaning outside of your mother's. If so, so that means no, I could not marry any of my mother's nieces born by her sisters. That's my female blood. That's my blood mixing with my female lineage. That's my clan. But uh, my uncle's daughters, it's permissible to marry. That's in Islam. In Islam, I don't want to start. I ain't no preacher, but I just read the Bible and the Quran, and I'm trying to get me a Torah because I know that all of this new information that they trying to introduce, talking about the Anunnaki and that, the original Babylonian scrolls had stories. That everything got the creation story. Wherever they talk about, I don't care how ancient them scrolls is. They all talk about a creation story and a man being created, and so you know. You can believe what you want to believe, but if you do believe, then you know that the scriptures and the word is alive. And I'm gonna just leave that right there. I don't, push religion on nobody. I believe that Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, I believe that any people that are really about the right thing and really about righteousness, they gonna want to see peace between all people, all mankind, all humanity, and all God's creation. Like and subscribe. I see lover chic. I see Bakobin. What's up? Welcome to the channel, Stock Market Savage. So let's talk about yes men. I think that President Trump, personally, this is my thought about the market and what's going on in the market right now. The market is stagnated because the market has no clue of what's really about to possibly happen. Trump, the president, has said that he wants Greenland to be part of America. Greenland is a part of Denmark. Denmark is still has strong relations with the United States. Denmark still has strong relations with the United States. Now, my thing is, check this out. This is the situation that we come into 2026 facing. We come into 2026, if you don't know, you should understand and realize that we coming into 2026 with a US dollar that has this far lost more value than it's lost, I believe they said, since 2013 or something like that. It's the dollar's lost more value within the last year than it's lost in the last 20 or 30 years. The US dollar and the US debt is causing a situation where people are starting to see the US as a weakening power, not as really being the supreme global power without question, although, the only way that you could really defy that is if you just was down to see the total destruction of the whole world. And I don't think that any of us want that in the destruction of humanity. And by that I mean that we should never want to resort to nuclear warfare over taking out minerals and things up out of the earth. It's, my father, this is what I'm saying about the white man. This is what I've been trying to tell people about since I was a young child. That my father was a young mixed Caucasian man who was part Native American and European. My father got a straight European blood type. He don't got that blood type that's where mixed that the blood type the mutation of the whites consistently mixing with Native American, which is the A. That's why you got most full bloods on reservations is either O or A. They come from the original blood type of the people or the consistent mixture. And I think the A was a mixture of the B. It's a triracial mixture that exists in America that was created from the consistent intermixture of the African slave, the Native American, and the European colonizer, the colonist. Come on, man. We know that the slave owners was making babies with African women. We know that they were making babies with women from the Native American tribal nations. We know that these races had a continuous intermixture of the three races, and nobody talks about the mutation of the genes and the new blood types from those consistent intermixtures and how you find them distributed amongst the populations of America. So, listen, it's a lot going on. I'm a Native American. I'm a dark skinned Native American. Well, I say this to say that America and Great Britain and the conquering and colonization of people has been going on since the founding of America. And since Marco Polo in Italy realized that Asia was in existence. It was only the Europeans that lacked the knowledge of the different land masses of the earth because the melanated peoples had already been interacting with one another and communicating with one another and had trade routes. The dollar, we come into 2026 with a weaker dollar. When the dollar is weaker, that means it buys less. You need more money to buy the same goods when the dollar is weaker. So we come into 2026 with the dollar weaker than it's ever been, and the dollar starting to regain strength because the president is making deals and he's got the world thinking like, yeah, everything is cool. And the market is like, psh, everything is cool. The prices of oil was like, stabilizing. And then nobody says, President, sir, if we gonna get Maduro, let's just let them think everything is cool. Let's let that last ship get through. Let that last ship get through. Let the last ship get through. You know what I'm talking about? And they think everything is cool. Everybody's still at the bargaining table. China, Russia, nobody on the defensive. No ships in the water. Let's let them think everything is cool. The markets go up. The US dollar, the CPI report just came out and it should have strengthened the US dollar, but because of all this other bullshit, and then another report, it made the US dollar strength that had been reassuring back up start falling again. The strongest currency right now, imagine this. So, what does this really tell you about the world's powers and the European powers. Do you know what empire, what kingdom is still a very, very powerful kingdom and empire? Listen, understand the empires and the kingdoms that still exist in the earth, and the sultanships that still exist in the earth. They exist in Africa, they exist in Asia, they exist in Europe, those that still exist. Hey, what's up, Navarashik? And welcome to welcome to our new member. I hope you subscribed. I hope you subscribe. Tell everybody to come over to the channel. So listen, nobody tells the president, let's hold off. Let's let the markets, let's let the markets digesting everything. The market's about to go up. Let's let the markets go up. Let's let the US dollar strengthen up. You know, they don't know what's about to happen. So the petrodollar, they still honoring. They buying illegal oil. Okay, they buying contraband oil, but they still honoring the petrodollar. They buying the contraband oil in all of these cryptocurrencies, the tether coin. Why would you need a USD tether coin that's tied to the US dollar? But that could, yeah, it's a way to, man, but that's another story. At any rate, they tanked the US dollar. They put the stock market at a standstill. Nothing's really is everything that should be going up is going down. They interrupt the tech trade because all of this shit interferes with what's going to happen with the whole tech and quantum computing build out. Quantum computing stocks, however, are still continuing to rise. The whole world will need the quantum computing systems, and there's only so many companies that do it. So I'll throw that out there. Quantum computing stocks are still beginning to rise. And in my opinion, no matter what they say, you should own D-Wave and Rigidi. And there's a few other plays. And this, while the market, I truly am preparing for and hoping, what goes up has to come down. The market is the market is in a situation where it's sitting stagnant. You over the last weeks, you have institutions or some sharks and some whales and some people that understand and have a bearish sentiment moving money around. And when it's money being moved around by multiple hedge funds and private investment firms, let's know that they're private investment firms. When you start to have, social media has created another dynamic in the stock market. You have traders and investors that have built communities, and within these communities they have people that are paying to be part of these communities, and they are entering plays together. They're entering trades as a group of people in a trade. So if you got earn your leisure and they got thousands of thousands. They had 10,000 people in the live stream watching a live, 4,500, 10,000, 7,000 people in the live. If you got 7,000 people in the live and you give out a play in the live, and they just give out a free play because they do that, to show you it's real. Yeah, this is a little play that we got going on, and you fuck around and you in the play, and people. Then they have private communities and investment clubs. So if you're in these investment clubs and these private communities, so you got Invest with Corey and his community, and they in plays together. He got thousands of people who follow them, and a few thousand people, they all in this community, they in the Patreon, and he say, yo, this I'm taking this call at this strike price. And so you got this community and groups of communities, because due to the advent of social media. And so I'm saying this because, as even I don't even think that as professional traders, because I'm the low man on the totem pole, and right now I'm a professional trader because since July of 2024, I've been doing this, and this is what I've been doing to pay my bills, to take care of my children, you know what I'm saying, off of money that I saved from working before I was fired wrongfully in a wrongful termination, because I never was going to quit my job. I was scaling my investment account by every time I got paid, putting money into the market and flipping that money. That's come to a somewhat of a halt because my unemployment check basically paid my child support and some bills. And so I use my trading to handle everything else, life insurance, you know what I'm talking about. But having yes men could get everybody murdered. So nobody said, no, Mr. President, let's let them think everything is cool. He already been down there. Listen, I understand, and if you don't understand, I understand wholly why the president felt like that. He had to secure that area with an American presence, simply due to the fact that the country was modeling itself after Cuba, and those guys were groomed. His predecessor, Maduro, and his predecessor were groomed by Fidel Castro. And what they did to America was advised by Castro when they kicked the American oil companies out of Venezuela. That was a move that was advised, and Castro counseled them to do that, or Castro's successors in administration, because Cuba and Venezuela has had an ongoing relationship, and those guys were politically groomed and brought up under the communist regime in Cuba. And how we gonna have communist regimes? Russia is a communist regime, all conspiring against our country, beneath us, right up under us, and influencing people in ideologies that we are against. Russia, Cuba, China. You can do what you want to do in your country amongst your people, and if that's what you believe in, that communism, and limiting people's ability to accumulate wealth, but they have all the wealth in the world and all the power in the world, and own all the businesses and all the companies, and keep you stagnated at a certain level. That's the option. This country was built, you know what I'm saying, as a republic, with the rights and the freedoms under the heavens of mankind that God granted mankind, with liberty and justice for all. Liberty is freedom. They stopped the US dollar in its tracks and caused it to begin to lose more value than it had already lost, already losing more than it's lost in 20, 30 years. Caused the abandonment of oil being purchased in US dollar currencies, disrupting and interrupting the petrodollar, which I never even knew. As you become an investor, and you start to learn about the markets, and you want to learn about what's going on and how what's going on financially and and globally, economically, global economics affect your buying power and purchasing power in your country, in your city, in your state, some type of way. And people that just, really seeking to have a better life in these times that we living in, as is if you think about the Bible and the Quran, the Quran, so like, and you think about what the Bible said about the last days, it's like these times, it's like what it's not too much that could really be left if we don't reel it in as humanity, as people. It's this was a lot of disruption from a bunch of yes men not having any type of huevos, no kahunas. Mr. President, we should wait. We ain't saying don't go don't go snatch them up. Don't snatch them up right now though. Let the markets shoot up. Let people situate and and then let's let them think everything is cool, and then let's boom. They could have let the ship get halfway there. It'd take months for them ships to get across the water. They could have dropped paratroopers on the ship a little ways out, a month from now, and took that same ship, let them think it was on its way, everything was cool. Let it go on, leave out the port and all that, and everything is cool. The economy's good, the market going up. And it's no way in the world that Nvidia and Palantir was for the whole 2025 was doing shit like going up to 200, coming back down to 180, 170 something, going back up to 200, 190, 195, in the prices that some of these high quality, high tech stocks have been just sitting at. They just been sitting at since around no fucking November, since Thanksgiving. And so if that is not a sign and leads you to understand, like, hey, I need to be thinking about shorting the market on some stocks and swinging those options contracts way, way out and taking advantage of the fact because everybody's so freaking bearish that option nobody's really thinking that the market can or will fall, and so you could get some good option contracts and some good prices swung out to some levels that you got to go look at some stocks that and say, okay, give me an option that say if the what would be the stock price if the market was to fall 50%. Straight up, if the market was to fall 50%, what would the price of this stock be? And base your put options contracts, your shorts around around those. If the market fell 15%, what would be this stock price? What would this stock price be if the market dropped 15%? And then put you a short at 18%, and if it fall 15%, and I mean, put it to fall at 13% or 12%. You do a 15% drop price and a 12% drop price. Take your put at the 12% drop price. So if the market drop 15%, you're in the money for sure. And if it keep going down, you just make your options contract just go up more and more. Take multiples if you think that bitch gone. You know what I mean? And That's a way that you can hedge yourself and not have to panic sell your stocks. But if you in profit and at the same time you read Fibonacci candlesticks and do technical analysis, you can be already prepared if you have your stops. Like when I don't want to lose more than $1,000. If you got $10,000 worth of Nvidia, you like, if I lose 1,000, I'm taking my profit, I'm out. If I lose this much, that means the stock will have to go down this much for me to lose this much. And you set your, you know what I mean? You set your stops, you do what you want to do. You know what I mean? That's when you're investing. If you trade and you trade for a living, you're in front of your screen watching everything. And I just think that if you if you trade and you trade for a living and you watching your portfolio, they hunt stops. They hunt stops. US dollar is down 0.28%. 0.28%. The US dollar is down against the Great British Pound on the micro side. I feel like that. I feel like that America, if Americans would become more honorable, more pursue more righteous, the righteous path and way to do something as opposed to the always the aggressive bully, immoral path to get a goal accomplished, the blessings will flow to the country. A country that always, listen, listen. We seen it. We read about it in scriptures. We read about it in history. We read about what's happened to these great ancient civilizations that had all the technology, had all the riches, they had all the gold, they had all of the jewels, the pearls, the silver, whatever. But they had no morality and no love. It gave no thanks and worship to the Creator, the Lord of the universe, whose essence is the very breath that we breathe, that animates our bodies and give us life. And 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 and, and then go throughout the earth seeking to obtain everything that still couldn't be created if he didn't create it, the wools and the cottons and the linen that we wear on our body that's created from the silk that comes from the silkworm, or the wool that comes from the cotton that comes from the wool of a sheep, or the cotton, the cotton that grow, the wool that comes from the wool of a sheep, the cotton that's spent in the fiber and made in the fabric, everything that the houses that's built from the lumber and the wood from the trees, everything that you seek to aspire to obtain. Your car, it was created by a man, and a man was made by who? God. Man is so wicked that everything that you do, every evil deed to seek to obtain, everything that you seek to obtain down to the food that we eat, unless it was cloned, and if the animal, if you eating even a piece of clone meat, the clone meat was created by who? Man. Man was created by who? God. So every wicked thing that you do to obtain anything in the earth which was created by the Creator will make a way and make a way for you to be able to obtain it if you was to just simply do one thing. Wake up in the morning trying to figure out how to do something good and trying to instead of trying to figure out how to go take somebody else's shit and do something bad to get what you want. Man. And so any leader who even the leaders back in the days had the mystics and the oracles. America has no. I don't think America has had a spiritual counselor since what president sent for Bishop Ellis? Bishop Ellis even had visits with the Pope, but maybe it was Clinton that Bishop Ellis leads, but I don't know what was wrong with Clinton. Clinton sent a lot of brothers to prison. Clinton was helped the administrations that created private prisons in America. Private prisons need to be done away with in America immediately, and it should never be no private entities or companies. Like I said, if you're a judge and you have stock and your 401k has private prison stocks in it, you shouldn't be able to sentence anybody to a sentence because, they gave me 4 years in prison and it was my first time ever going down and I could have qualified for a program, but Ohio got a law that say that even if you qualify for a program and the sentence can be and you could be, but you can be given a prison sentence, and it's a bed open in a private prison sentence that they're going to give you that sentence instead of the program because now it's beneficial to them. So how are the states in cahoots with private prisons? How can a judge that's got it's a conflict of interest. I could get a program, but now I have to go to prison because even though it's my first time ever. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go to prison because it's a private prison with a bed open. They're gonna make sure they keep a bed open because they lock motherfuckers in the hole 3 months and 6 months to the line so they can always have beds open. And now they talk about, they prisons ain't full and they trying to sue the state. And the state's trying to find a way to make motherfuckers stop committing crimes so they don't have to lock motherfuckers up. And they like, no, lock niggas up. It's all type of stuff going on in America that's immoral. You know what I mean? That free labor that they getting from them people that's locked up in prison ain't doing nothing for this economy, and really. So nonviolent criminals, people they still trying to lock up people over marijuana. Marijuana should be fully legal because Americans breed and grow the best weed. So we could be selling all the other countries that's got legal cannabis, they buying their herb from us and still growing their own, and that turned that into a whole nother income source for America and Americans. Create other income sources for Americans, not just taking shit so the country can make more money. You know what I'm saying? Take shit to open up trade so we could sell more shit to Venezuelans and so we could sell motherfuckers who grow and craft growers could sell their weed in other countries and in other cities and states and other countries. Might could charge motherfuckers 3,000 American dollars for an ounce to some rich tycoon in some other country that wanna just have some American grown ass You know what I'm talking about? So it's other income sources. We grow more marijuana than any other country, consume everything that we grow inside our borders and still import other people's herb. How the fuck do that sound? Why are we still importing other people's herb when they don't grow better weed than us? to meet the American consumption instead of freeing America to grow the shit to meet the American consumption and meet others countries' consumption. What? What? Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. Share the channel. Share the channel. And you know, it's a commentary and opinion based channel based on my observations and how I see what's going on in the market, how geopolitical and global uh, economic occurrences can affect our markets. I started I started back investing into stocks around 2019. I've been I've been a stock picker on and off since 2001. Been a stock picker on and off since 2001. It was in uh, 2000, 2024, however, that I just buckled down and said, I'm going to take this really serious as far as when it comes to stocks, and started to teach myself how to trade and learn about stock options contracts. And life has been a different life ever since I learned about stock options contracts. Trading stock options contracts led me into futures and futures forex. And oh, what's the range? Okay, this the range for first 5 minute candle to break the range. The new range. So what was that? This was London. London. The London high. The London open and the high. What's the same? 1.3436. The close and the low. Close and the low. 1.3435. 3435. 1.3435. The high for American session is the open and the high. Damn, the open and the high. It's one. Oh, bitch. 1 point. It's 1.3383. 1.3383. That's the open and high. 1.3384. The low is 1.3382. The low 1.3382. The low and the close 1.3384. That's the that's the March. Okay, so me. So it's making about to make higher lows and higher highs. That looks like maybe. I'm watching this trade, y'all. Yeah, I think I don't. Either way, it could be, you know, if he was gonna do it though, let's do it and get it out the way and then get however it's gonna affect the market and then the repercussions will be we'll see and deal with that. I don't know. You know, if the whole objective is to make the country stronger and to strengthen the country, to weaken the country's currency and create hostile situations and environments, not even just for the country's people abroad, with people feeling just some type of way and taking it out on Americans like they responsible for the administration's decisions. I feel that. So check this out. The strongest currency is the Swiss franc. So I was talking about the Swiss and the Danes, the Swiss franc. And they and the Swiss franc is the strongest, is one of the strong is the strongest, it's like the strongest currency right now against like all other currencies, like the Swiss franc. And what is Switzerland is a kingdom, Denmark as well, Kingdom of Denmark, Kingdom of Switzerland, the Great British Empire. Britain is an empire. And so before America's dollar became the world reserve currency, it was the Great British pound, the Great British sterling pound. And so, as a Native American Tory, in a weakening U.S. dollar, I think that while the U.S. dollar is strong, you should be buying foreign dollars whose money is gaining in value in regards to strengthening against the U.S. dollar. You know what that means if it becomes worth more than the US dollar and you bought it while you had leverage to buy more of their money. Then when you exchange it back, you're exchanging it for more US currency because that money became worth more than the US currency. So understand what the money moves that are being made around everyday average Americans who are not financially literate, who are not financially astute, who are caught up in social media and TikTok and all of these other distractions. Because even the people that are utilizing social media properly, which is like to generate another stream of income for yourself, is the wisest way to use social media, to utilize it to create another stream of income for yourself. And even doing that, if you have the ability to utilize social media to create another stream of income for yourself, but you're not investing some of that money, and you're earning more money, but you're still just a consumer. You're not taking a percentage of that money and investing it and putting that money in places where that money can then work for you to make you more money, or utilizing that money to create another stream of income, or purchase an asset. Then you're still caught up in this is the reason distractions are created. And this is the reason everybody cannot, will not make it and develop the mental and the psychological fortitude to endure. Not just in the market, in any of life struggles, in situations where you have to overcome things that, yeah, any the ability to overcome any struggles and anything that come your way. We have to have, so you have to have a psychological fortitude to endure in the market. And you really don't want a bunch of yes men around you. You always have a team and people around you that gonna keep it 100 with you and tell you the real. You feel me? Yes, man, get everybody caught up in a situation just agreeing with something because they ain't like, instead of strategizing, like, no, let's, we can never know. We can always wonder if what would the market be up if they waited to make this move? Would the market be up if they waited to make this move? I'm looking at a report that say the dollar rises as U.S. jobless claims probably were lower than expected. You know what I mean? It ain't a lot. Like I said, a lot of people, if you get approved, if you get approved for, just say you get approved for unemployment and you worked your schedule and you should so happen to be in a situation where something happens, you get approved for your unemployment and you had a good job and you got money put up or money saved, and you get approved for, because you can only be on unemployment for a year and you have to have worked long enough to get that full year of benefits. So say you get a year of benefits It's a lot of people that they fill out applications every week, but they ain't pressing the company about the job because they like shit. If you're making what is that five. So say I'm single. It's really not nothing, but I have other sources and streams of income. So I'm getting $2,000 a month from unemployment, and it's paying my child support, and I got enough benefits to last a year. And I'm going to school or going to get another certification. So at the end of that year, I could take another job where I got this certification that allows me to make more money in the field that I'm in or transition into another level of the field at a higher pay because I upped my skill level from taking a trade or grabbing a certification during this year that I'm collecting unemployment. I'm still filling out applications every week, you know, like you got to fill out applications every week and you still get, but you know what I mean? If you ain't calling and pressing them about a job, they ain't really probably calling and pressing you. That's just how jobs is. Now, you want a job, you gonna call us. Like, you know what I'm saying? They might call you. You know what I mean? If they do and you want to just keep your unemployment, you just avoid the calls. So it's like people, those jobless reports and a lot of that don't reflect what the true situation is. And I can tell you that because I know motherfuckers who, when they get that they get approved for that unemployment, they take that year and they collect that unemployment and whatever they do that year, if they can still getting a check, they still get their bills paid, and any real motherfucker that's responsible should have learned a long time ago how to not live check to check. To not live check to check, you take a percentage of your income every time you get paid, and even if you just put it in a high yielding money market account that pays you 5%, you can open up a Coinbase account and put $100 a month, put $50 to $100 every paycheck and USD coin, and USD coin, and hold it in Coinbase, and they give you a 5% for holding USD coin. I don't know if it's every quarter, but they give you 5%. So, you know, what's 5% on 500? $50 or something. No, that's 10. What is it? So, you know, whatever 5% on 500 is, that's what you will earn like every quarter on whatever money that you held. It's ways that make sure that you get a return, basically, is what I'm saying. So if you don't have to, you know, you could put money in Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up and down, but over the long term of dollar cost average investing, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, how can you ever grow any type of income? You can't grow a savings. All a savings account do is just sit there. It's that same amount of money. If your bank don't pay you no interest on your account, most banks don't pay interest on savings accounts anymore. Oh, is that the first candle outside? Is that the first candle outside of the range? The first 5 minute candle outside of the range is a bullish candle. Mm, let's write it down. First candle bullish. And what time is it? 2:31. 2:31. Outside the outside the range above. Outside the range. Shown. above. With the two, that's the, okay. 231, that range changed to the high 1.9, 1.3, 1.3390, and the low 1.3389. This is a 5-hour time frame. No, it's a 5-minute candle on a 1 hour, 30-minute time frame. So every hour and 30 minutes. That means from 2:30 at 3:30 it's gonna set a new range. Yeah, it is. And I'll see if the range change at 3:30. So that's just a 1 hour time frame, 1 hour, 30-minute intervals, and 5-minute candles. Okay, y'all. Keep some people around you that's gonna tell you the real. Keep some people around you that's gonna tell you the truth. People keep not try to prevent you from doing something out of, trying to discourage you from doing it, unless, it's, you know, people that want to see you succeed, but that they're not just gonna agree with you. They're not just gonna agree with you in everything and not tell you when a certain move is not wise, or that maybe we should hold up with this move, and maybe we should run the same play but run it in a different way, utilize a different approach. I feel like the British Empire, is an empire and an institution that, if anything, will grow stronger, not weaker. It's gonna grow stronger, not weaker. It's a wild market. The markets are seeking to destroy people. the market, the market, the trade with confidence and caution. The markets have been known to destroy people. Respect the market. Respect this new market that nobody has ever traded before. I promise you better respect them. You better respect this market. You better respect the power that social media and the podcasting world has. You better respect how much a podcaster or an influencer can affect things, how much money influencers can cause and have caused to flow into the market from new financial literacy movements being pushed all throughout the urban ghettos in America to teach minorities and people of color about a great American institution, the investment markets, new and old, crypto, bonds, stocks. You know what I mean? And if we teach our children to become involved in the right things early on instead of the wrong things early on, if we don't criticize our children because they talk properly and they don't use slang and they talk like little valley boys and valley girls instead of little thugged out minions, we want them to talk it like yeah, we should be trying to deprogram our children from the ignorance. We should be trying to deprogram in urban neighborhoods and communities in America, should be trying to deprogram your children from all of this madness and instill good things and good energy and good visuals and positive vibrations. But let them know that the world is wicked and savage and prepare them and how to deal with that through their fortitude and their belief in the Almighty and the All-Powerful One who is the creator of all mankind. You dig? The Lord of the universe. However whatever your name for the creator is, he got a whole bunch of names and a whole lot of attributes that's, attributed to him. But you know what I mean? If you don't, may awakening be stirred within you. You feel me? We don't see what's gonna happen with this trade. Nvidia, Palantir, just Robinhood, all just fluctuating at buy prices. You know what Warren Buffett said? When everybody else is buying, sell. And when everybody else is selling, buy. So that's from the Oracle. That's not from Santorio Hector. Warren Buffett said, when everybody else is selling, buy. And when everyone else is buying, sell. Why? It's everybody buying, they driving the price up. Take you some profits. When everybody is selling, they driving the price down. Buy it. It's going to go back up. When Palantir and Nvidia sitting at these prices with Netflix at $88.47 a share, oh, that's a buy, in my opinion. Oh, that's a buy, in my opinion. And that's a buy, in my opinion. And Robinhood at 113 is a buy, in my opinion. That'll be the first 5 minute candle that broke the range if it is. And if it is, I'm about to know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which one of these charts is in real time is what I'll be needing to know. Shit. Learn to invest. Learn to invest. Every time you get paid, take a percentage of that paycheck. Find you a good stock. In my opinion, start with Netflix. $88.42 a share. Man, I would get as many shares as I could buy at this price. No, I wouldn't, because might go down. I'm going to take that back. Jim Cramer say buy 5 shares, see what happened, then buy 5 more. You know what I'm talking about? If it's looking like buy your shares in increments, but if it's at a price like this, though, it's at a price like 83, 88, 41. You know, down from like 103, $3, 105 or some shit like that. That's a buy range to me. And I'm the type, I'm just gonna grab a bunch of them bitches, but Jim Cramer don't. He said you should buy in and like buy 5, buy 10, because it could go down. As you buy it on the way down, he right, buy 5, will go down more. If you buy some more, you know what I'm talking about. I be having options contracts, so I'll be like, shit, I'm gonna buy, cause as it keep going lower, I'm making money off the put contract. You know, I'm gonna have a put contract in for it to hit a certain level. If I read Fibonacci, so I created a option strategy called the Iron Vice, and it's designed to make money on the uptrend and the downtrend, and to read the chart to know which trend is coming into play first, and ultimately which trend is gonna have to reverse into. And so, it's 3 o'clock. It ought to be 3 o'clock. What's the move? Shit, New York. New York. New York. New York ain't tried this bitch down, though. They drove this bitch down. Damn, that's crazy. What an interesting situation this is in the market. Stuff, yo. You know, make me another cup of coffee. Look at this shit. The life of a trader. I guess it's boring until you scale. It's boring until you scale. We trying to scale, y'all. Every time, every time they knock us back down to Godfather. He said the Godfather. You feel me? Trying to scale. We can't. We every time we get something going on, there comes some old janky stuff in the market. Boom, the water back on. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. You heard me? Make me a fresh cup of coffee. I'm gonna get up off of here, y'all. Like and subscribe. Stay tapped in with the channel. Santorio Hector, Stock Market Savage. I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio, trading the market. Go stream our records. We make records. They out on all music platforms. Check out the records on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Amazon. Go check out my music videos. You know what I'm talking about? Go check out the music videos. Santorio Hector. Go check out my music videos. Go support. Tell everybody in your country to tap in and go stream the music. If you're in East India, you should be able to find my music on Agnami. If you're in Africa, you should be able to find it on Boomplay. Different parts of Africa. If you have Apple Music in your country, check out the record, Santorio Hector. Check out the records. Check out the records. You can't make nobody love you. Can't make nobody love you. Can't make nobody love you. Can't make nobody love you.
You can't make nobody love you. Hey, youngin', they don't love you. YG's youngin', the streets not designed to love you. Pakistani, so we tax them every time, like, get it out the mud, be what my grind like. Got my diamonds glistening off the street lights. Red beam on his head, put him to sleep like that. You don't gonna go to war with these homies yelling St. Clair, puffin' gas, sippin' Henny out the bottle like. And my ratchet thoughts, looking like top models. Big head, pretty bitches, so I stay shitting on them. Humble yourself and quit playing with a pimp. With that ism in my veins, so you know it's not an option. All that pretend love, why I keep the hood poppin'. You can't make nobody love you.
Go check out the albums on all music platforms. Santorio Hector, Cleveland record producer. Featuring artists from New York to California, you heard me? You know what I'm saying? Trader, self-taught investor, record producer, music publisher. Go download the albums. Tell everybody to come over to the channel, man. Let's learn how to invest. Let's learn about what's going on in the market. Let's learn about what's going on in the global economy. Let's be financially literate. Let's learn to have a strong psychological endurance to be able to endure when the market goes down and to know how to hedge so that we don't have to panic. You hear me? Santorio Hector. Download the albums too on Apple, Spotify, all that. Go check out the records. You hear? Look at this shit. Cleveland. Hate this shit.